Welcome to episode number 38, you guys. My name is Coach Yo. I'm the main host today. We have Coach Nick co-hosting. We also have Colton in the background. We have very, very special guests by the name of Nicole Scherzinger. I'm telling you, does she not look like Nicole Scherzinger? I mean, this is crazy to me, okay? We have our really good friend, Tica Daniela is her actual name. But she's known by Tica. Everybody calls her Tica. Actually, can you explain the whole Tica name?
So it's actually just a nickname that is given to all the people from Costa Rica.
Okay.
And it's just because the way we speak Spanish, we add like the word tico or tica at the end. So instead of saying chico, we say chiquitico. Mm-hmm. So that's just... people from Costa Rica, they call them ticos or ticas. And when I came here to the United States, in high school, no one knew anybody else from Costa Rica besides me. Mm-hmm. So they always call me Tica. So it always stuck. That's what people know me by.
Yeah, my son loves you, by the way.
Oh, I know.
She always,
I'm the favorite auntie.
Yeah.
He always bring candy.
Yeah, always.
Not today. I feel
actually. So I forgot to text you yesterday. So my son was like, "Is Auntie Tica coming tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah." Is she gonna bring the peanut butter balls again? And I'm like, "Oh, I better text her."
Wait, you ate them all already?
No, I had like 2 left, bro.
Oh, okay,
chill.
you're not sharing?
No, it's just me. The reason why we have Tica's on our podcast today because I love her story, her journey. She came from super, I would say, unhealthy, skinny to huge IFBB pro out here in Utah, and she's now a coach. She owns multiple businesses, and on top of that, being a single mom, it's not easy. Okay, so we're going to have some introductions, and we're going to talk about competing. We're going to talk about coaching businesses, and we're going to talk about, this is one of my favorite topics, actually, that I'm going to bring up is what mistakes that you've made in the past. And in terms of your health journey, right? Things that you've done before that you should have we know now, like, why would we do that? I have a bunch for y'all. So we're going to share a bunch of that today. So introducing Tica, tell me a little bit about yourself, kind of your story of how you got to where you are today.
Well, everything kind of started when I was going through a divorce. I was really depressed, and I just was going to therapy. And obviously, you know, when you're going through all that, you're feeling down, you're feeling all these emotions. And so I asked my therapist if I needed to take like some kind of like antidepressant pills or anything. And he told me, thankfully, he said no. He's like, it's normal for you to feel the way that you're feeling. Just go to the gym for 1 hour, and that will be equivalent to one antidepressant pill. And I was like, say less, you know. So I signed up. I started going to the gym.
I love that, by the way.
Yeah,
I know, me
I
too.
love
There's not
that.
a lot of therapists or doctors who would recommend that over writing a prescription.
Oh my
100%.
gosh, I love that. Yeah.
I actually, I wish I remember his name, but that was like years ago. Just so I can refer people to him, but yeah, no, it was great. So I took it really serious. You know, at that point, I needed to be better, not just for myself, but I needed to be better for my son, you know, mentally. And so I started going. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I would just go and do cardio, do some stretches, and I would just like look into YouTube and look into like some exercises and things like that. But, you know, for the most part, it was just me copying people and not knowing what I was doing. You know, I was doing some Zumba classes and things like that. But then slowly I started making friends in the gym. That's where I met Cherie.
Oh, you met Cherie?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wait,
I remember.
How long ago was this?
Yeah.
That was like years ago before I even started bodybuilding.
Wow. That's got to be like 10
Really?
years ago.
Yeah, it's been about 10 years. Yeah.
I didn't
I
know
remember
that.
I saw Cherie was already into the fitness industry. Mm-hmm. And I remember she walked in and I saw her quads and I was like, God damn, I need those quads. What is she doing? I need to be friends with her. So I remember I went up to her. I complimented her. She's like so sweet, humble, down to earth, you know. And so I remember going into that gym. I started like talking to different people, made friends, and like some people will like help me, you know, and so that's how it kind of started. I also had a coworker that was helping me at the time, just kind of like telling me what workouts to do and what to eat, just because I wanted to gain weight, because I had actually lost over 30 pounds in like, I think in 4 weeks or less.
Whoa. Was that because of your divorce, right?
I was not eating at all.
Yeah.
I was
How
really
old were you at that
depressed.
point?
27.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
And your son was
7.
wow.
Yeah. So it was pretty tough, but you know, I started seeing the changes not outside but inside. You know, I started to feel more confident, happier about, you know, the changes, the transformation. And so I think the transformation has started from the inside out, you know, and I loved it. It changed my life, honestly. And so I feel like after that point, 2 years into, you know, the fitness, I decided to compete. Um, but yeah, that's how everything started.
And what year did you compete? The first one.
I think it was 2018 or 17, actually. 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you went up the rank fast, because I remember because I first competed 2018, and I think that's when I know of you in 2018, and then I remember watching you. I think you won several overalls afterwards.
So I started competing 2017. I did my first show with a coach that I was like not a good coach, and so I did that show in October. And I fell in love with the sport. And I did my first show just kind of like a bucket list, because I wanted to work on some things within myself. But then after doing it, I fell in love with the sport, and I actually fired that coach. And then I got a new coach. And then so I started prepping with that new coach, I think in December for the following year for March. And I did like 2 shows. So I literally did, when I started, 3 shows back to back, or 3 preps back to back.
Wow.
So I did March, and then I did FitCon at that time, which is Wasatch Warrior now. And then I didn't place too well on those shows. Like the first one, I got like 12 place, but I didn't even, I practiced posing one time, so that should tell you
The day
enough.
before. The morning of.
Yes. So my coach it was horrible. Like all my prep, there was really no preparation. I was just like starving myself. And then for the other, with my second coach at that time, like when I did my show in March, in April, I was just actually just kind of getting the hang of it. There was still a lot of things that I was not doing right. But it was just a learning experience for me, right? So I was just trying to get better and better. But I went from 12th place, and then from that show, I got 3rd place in March, 3rd and 4th. And then I did FitCon.
That must feel good, though.
It did.
Because it felt like
That's
And
just
it
a
was
couple
a
weeks
huge
in
difference.
between. So to go from 12th to like 3rd or 4th is
No, it was from October
October
to
to
March.
October.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like a few months, but
And how did you feel? Let's go back to your first show. And we've all had this moment of when you walk in the backstage and you look at the other competitors and you're like,
shit. What am
damn.
I doing?
Like, these guys looks amazing.
the
You know
thing
what I mean?
is, the thing is
I remember that.
this is what I will say. It's crazy to be new in the industry, because you really don't know who you're going up against. And so obviously by yourself, you always look good because you're making progress from where you started, right? So you're looking at yourself and you're looking better and better, so you're confident and you're not comparing yourself to anyone else, right? But once you actually get to the show and you see all these competitors and you actually see the competition, and you realize like, damn, I've been with the wrong coach this entire time and I'm screwed. So, you know, I remember even the way that people were carving up, like I was carving up with like baby food.
Yeah.
And
Yum.
it was just crazy. But then I will see all these girls like carving out with rice. They were eating honey, peanut butter, chicken, you know, all these like full meals. And I'm like, something's going on here. I don't know what it is, but something's wrong. This is not right. But you know, I think that that's when you learn a little bit more, you know, once you're backstage, the experience, when you see these coaches actually taking care of their athletes, like paying attention to detail, like supporting their team and actually showing up and
Yeah.
caring.
You see the difference.
You see the difference on
Yeah.
backstage on like, you know, what teams are good, you know. And
Did
so
you talk to any of these girls backstage? To
I
get
was
an
so
idea as to what they're doing?
intimidated. I was so intimidated because I thought it looked good. And then when I showed up, I was like,
Never mind.
never mind, you know. But honestly, for my first show, I feel like one of the things that I've always had is just glutes, you know. So my conditioning, that's what I struggled the most, just because I've always have carried my fat on my hamstrings and glutes, and so the glutes are there, but the conditioning is what I've struggled the most. So like I remember at my first show, my glutes were like the biggest glutes there, but I was not conditioned, and so it was okay. I knew that I needed to practice more posing after realizing that I needed more practice. And so it was just a matter of getting a better guidance for me. So I think that kind of changed a lot, you know. So I went from like 12th place to like third place, third and fourth in two different classes. And then when I did FitCon, it was a more competitive show. And so I got seventh place in that show, which I was pissed because I look the best I've ever looked after,
Yeah, but
you know, my
now
third show.
you know the
Right.
yeah.
But I didn't know, right? Like
Yeah.
I was like, this is not fair. I look
Right.
better than my last two shows. Why am I not placing better? But right, I was ignorant
Yeah.
about the way that the judges score, you know, like I wasn't educated on how the sport actually worked. And so I was just upset about my placing because I knew I had worked harder, I looked better.
Yeah.
It
Can
didn't
we
matter.
talk about that a little bit, because obviously the listeners, a lot of them are lifestyle. And then I know you're going to have a lot of your clients and your people are going to watch the show, and some of them are probably new competitors, right? Let's talk about that. So there's so many, you know, bodybuilders that would compete in one show, and let's say they win first, second, or third. First show, right? I won second my first show, right? And then you go into the next show thinking that you're going to win, or you're going to place better, but you're entirely different judges, entirely different venue, entirely different state, for example.
Entirely different athletes.
Entirely different athletes. And just so you guys know, there's no point systems in bodybuilding, so it's very, very much subjective. In order for you to be a bodybuilder and to continue to compete, you have to have a very, very, very thick skin, because you're literally being judged for them to tell you, hey, you're not good enough. Hey, you don't have big enough chest or glutes or shoulders or back or whatever. You're literally being judged, right? So in my honest opinion, this is probably the hardest sport I've ever had to, that I've ever done, you know, and in terms of it never stops. Conditioning never stops. Your training never stops. Your eating never stops, right? It's not like we can turn it off. Oh, we're done playing game today. Let's go have a beer and eat whatever the hell we want for the next week. It doesn't work that way, right? And when you place third to fourth, and then the next show you went seventh place. And let's talk about that. So you went from a typical local show, and then you went to the probably one of the biggest show in Utah, because I think Wasatch is one of the biggest show in Utah.
Yeah, because it's a pro show.
It is a pro and an amateur show. So, and you've got a lot of these pro people bringing their athletes from across the nation to compete at that level. I swear to God, I remember Wasatch first came out, and some of these girls, man, they're in like I think it was physique competitors. They had shoulders as big as my head, and that, you know, and I'm like, yo, and I held.
Hey, you have a big head.
I'm like, and I have a big head. Yeah, thank you for that, by the way. God dang, bro, no chill. She needs coffee. Let's bring us some coffee. No, and I was so impressed. And you're right. I mean, you just because you win, you know, you place better at the last show, it doesn't mean that you're always going to win the next show. And I think the moral of that story is that you essentially compete against yourself, right? You get better. Every show you do, you get better and better and better. You cannot dictate who's going to be there. You don't know who's going to be there. girl or the girl, the guy standing next to you could be national qualified 4 or 5 times, won multiple overalls, and you're mad because you take second.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that reality hit for a lot of bodybuilders. And the cool thing about your situation and my situation too is that when you go through your first show and you had a really bad experience, essentially, and a lot of people quit because they can't handle it anymore. They're like, I've known a lot of competitors that have done one show and they're like, nope, I'll never step on that stage. But the fact that we continue to do that, finding better coaches, finding better space, better environment, and you continue to grow, I think that's awesome, because that's what we had to deal with. We all had to go through that shitty situation, shitty coaches, but we want to learn and we get better as.
I mean, I just feel like eventually, even if you're with a good coach, sometimes you will outgrow that coach.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not necessarily that they're going to be a bad coach or not. You know, it's just like you outgrew them, or whatever they're doing is no longer working for you. And you have to find whatever works for you the best. You know, it's a selfish sport, and it's not just about like the prep part of it, but it's also about like caring about what's best for you. So sometimes whenever you're coaching with someone, like you create that, you know, connection and relationship and friendship sometimes with your coach. And then sometimes people feel like they have to stay there for loyalty. And sometimes, you know, you outgrew them, but you stay there because you feel bad leaving. And so what I tell people is like, you have to think about this about a business, you know, like you're paying for a service. And at the end of the day, what's best for you? If you think, you know, you can do something better with someone else because whatever that person is doing is not working for you anymore, then, you know, I think it will be good to live in good terms. So then the door is open in case that you go out there to find something that can be better for you. And if it doesn't work out, then you can always come, you know, go back. But yeah, I just think it's just part of the process.
It's hard because it's different every time. You know, like,
and every prep is different too.
Every prep is different. Every coach does things differently. They peak differently. You're right. A lot of coaches fat up. They do carb up sometimes. They don't mess with sodium. Some coaches don't. Some coaches do. Some coaches do diuretics. Some coaches don't. There's so many, like thousands of ways to peak you for a show. Some coaches don't even change anything, and they look incredible. And I love that sometimes. When you go through the show and you're like, you already look amazing on Wednesday. Why do we change it? Like, you know how we always pull water and stuff? No, the coach is like, no. Like Brandon sometimes, I'm like, nope, you get 2 gallons all the way through. I'm like, keeps you full, and pull a little bit of sodium or whatever. And every coach does differently. And that's the thing too. There's a lot of noise. Let's talk about that real quick. There's a lot of noise in the bodybuilding industry because everybody have their own opinions. Oh, Tica look like this. She should be this. She's not lean enough. And you get other people's judgment, opinions, perspective, and which the only judgment that you care about is the judge that actually judge you for the show.
Can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't give a fuck about what people say.
Yeah.
I give a fuck about what the judges said and what my coach says.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that should be the only thing that matters to you as well.
100%.
Block out the noise and stop allowing people to get in your head while you're in prep. Sometimes it's nice to get the feedback, you know, when it's from a friend or whatnot, but don't allow that to mess with your brain. You know what I mean? Mainly when you're like on peak week or not, you know, like just, and sometimes like people are just trying to be kind and helping on like, oh, I think like this, and this, you know, but so when I try to give advice to people, like I just ask, you know, can I give you my opinion, or do you care if I tell you a few tips about posing that can improve your posing a little bit better, you know, just to make sure that some people are okay with it, because for the most part, people don't like that, you know, and there are some other people that have no boundaries, and they just come and tell you like, well, you should have had this bikini suit in a different color, your hair different color, your makeup did, and I'm just like, bitch, will ask you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's the truth. That's the truth. It's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise from, I mean, you coming off stage, the first thing you got to do when you come off stage, go to the judge, get their feedback.
Exactly.
Bring it to your coach and shut the hell up and work on it.
Yeah,
Right?
what I personally do, I go with my athletes and get the feedback with them, and the thing is like, first off, this is really important for you to do after a show is just show. A lot of people are just so worried about like getting food.
Yeah. They want
Like,
the
oh, I need to
cookies
go
or the,
get some food and this is no. Priorities are priorities. If you're a good athlete and you really care about what the judges are saying and what their feedback is, go and stand there for like 30 minutes or whatever long it takes.
Yeah.
Speak with them, show them that you actually care for their feedback
Yeah.
rather than sending an email. By the time that they will respond, they probably forgot about you. Right then, it's going to be fresh. They just saw you on stage.
Yeah.
They know who you are.
Yep.
You get the feedback and you start working on that feedback.
Yep.
Right? You don't want to continue to go to the gym with no intention. You have to be intentional every time you walk into the gym,
Yeah.
knowing what you're working on. So, like, a person that is in prep and let's say they're going to do a bikini competition, do you know what the judges look for when you are in the bikini division?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't know. I'm just doing what my coach is telling me. It's like, okay, educate yourself, like learn on what they're looking for, you know what I mean? And then once you step on stage knowing that you brought the best package you could possibly bring and you get your feedback, then start working on your off season, on your improvement season, on the feedback you got. Like have a off season with intention. Be intentional on what you're doing. Like, hey, they told me that I needed to grow my shoulders.
Yep.
Then you're going to create a plan to do that. Or, hey, you know what? Like, you need to grow your upper glute. So create a workout or a split to where, like, you're going to be focusing on those things.
Yeah.
But I
You
think a
know.
lot of it's the coach's problem. And I've seen a lot of coaches who the competitor, especially after prejudging, will go up to their, go to their competitor and say, I already know what they're going to say. They're going to say you need a bigger chest or we need to get your shoulders better. But then that's what the competitor assumes the feedback is going to be, so then they never ask. So then they just keep working on the same thing the coach tells them they need to work on. When in fact the judges could say, no, your shoulders are fine, your chest is fine, it's your back or it's your legs or it's whatever. So I think a lot of the responsibility comes down on the coach, not just getting them ready for the show in the reverse, but getting that feedback as well.
I think that I just feel like I agree and disagree to a certain point because as an athlete, it's your responsibility to get the feedback. At the end of the day, if your coach says no, like, okay, I still want to get the feedback. Let me just get my feedback. And then if it is the same thing, then cool, you already knew what it is, but I still wanted to get the feedback.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I feel like there's...
No, I agree with that. I'm saying I think coaches let their egos get the better of them. And so they just convince their competitors, like, no, this is what we need to work on. So even if you were to go get the feedback, the coach is going to... there's so many of them who are just like, no, this is what it needs to be.
Yeah, I've seen that. Like, they're just like, oh, don't bother. Like, I already know what it is. But it's like, if you already knew what it is, then why didn't we fix that when we were prepping to bring the package that I needed to bring?
Why am I on stage?
You know what I mean? Because like whenever the athletes that I have brought to stage, I've never gotten any feedback to where like they tell me anything but like muscle maturity or growing upper glutes. But like most of my athletes that I have put on stage, they have been first-time competitors. They have never competed before.
And they look great, by the way.
And so obviously it's something that is just going to come with time, right? But balance, conditioning, suit, color, tan, makeup, posing, flawless, everything. Never. Even like my last two clients, they didn't even have anything negative to say.
Yeah.
They couldn't give me any feedback.
Just more time.
Yeah.
Right?
They just said,
yeah.
I don't know, she looked better. I don't know, some people liked her better.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
And that's why we want to have this conversation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so at
But
the
you
end
give your athletes the attention to detail that you give yourself, where I feel like a lot of coaches
even more.
don't.
Yeah.
They give them the attention, but if it's coming down to like if the coach is wanting to do a show and their athlete is, the coach is always, that person's going to give themselves more attention. Where I don't think a lot of coaches really give their athletes
I want to touch base. I want to touch into the time. before we get to the time of growing and muscles and the realistic time frame, right? Let's go back to your first show, going into it, going through a divorce, having a 7-year-old. How was your mental was like when you go through that transition, being a single mom? Because competing is not cheap either, right? Was that difficult?
When I did my first show, I was expecting, so the coach that I was with, he told me that I was going to get sponsored to enter on the show, that they were going to pay for my bikini, that they were going to pay for my earrings, that they were going to pay for my heels.
How generous of them.
Like everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that sounds amazing. Yeah. And then came down to the show and I didn't have anything. And so I had to figure it out, put myself in debt to actually step on stage and do it. And I figured out myself. Obviously, after this situation, being a single mom, I couldn't continue to afford this, right? But I wanted to do it so bad. I actually started working as a cocktail waitress in downtown. And so I will work there on the weekends.
While you're prepping?
Yeah.
Yo.
And a single mom.
And being a single, and you don't just get off work at 9 p.m.
No. So like on a weekends, what it will look like to me, I will go to my day job. So I will be up at 5 in the morning. I will be up at 5 in the morning to do 2 hours of cardio. From 5 to 7 in the morning, I will do all my cardio straight. Then I will go home, get ready, and then go to work. Like at 8, I will take my son to school or whatever and drop him off on my way to go to work at 8 a.m. Then I will be there until like 5. And then I will get off from work and then I will come home, take my son to eat a burger or do something fun with him before I went to work. So then after, I will go to the gym, get my workout done, come back, shower, get ready, and then be at the club like around 8:39. And I will be there from like 9 all the way until like 3 in the morning. And then I will have to wake up the next day and do the same thing. And sometimes I will have to go to work on my other job because I had to work like once or twice a month on the weekend on a Saturday. So like I will have to go to work after like sleeping 2 hours.
Oh my god.
And so, and then after that, the next day, having to spend time with my kid, I had to like,
you got to be there.
Go to do my workout, my cardio, and all that stuff. But it was really tough.
I just want to speak on that. First of all, I'm so proud that the fact that you're pushing through, and this is not the first time I'm hearing it, right? So, we've interviewed a lot of other coaches, and with the same mindset, there's a will, there's a fucking way. If you really want something done, guys, you will do whatever it takes to get things done. I'm gonna put you guys on this pedestal for a second. I have clients that does the same thing. They do what it takes to get there, right? And they have amazing transformations, and they're just lifestyle, amazing transformations. And then I have other clients that are not quite there. They want the results, but they don't want to work for it. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's walk through your day. What time do you wake up? Oh, I wake up at 8. Okay, so you could have wake up at 5, 6 to get things done. But okay, anyway, go ahead. And then I work until, and then I get off at 3. I'm like, oh, you get off at 3. You work from home? Oh, yeah, because everybody works from home nowadays, right? You get off at 3. So, and I said, so what the hell do you do after 3? That's when I hang out with my dog and da-da-da and doing this, doing that. Okay, so you only work from 8 to 3 every single day, and you work from home. One, you couldn't even follow your meal plan because you're at home, by the way. And then
that's the worst.
Yeah, I know. And it's easy to not follow the meal plan because the pantry's right there, right? So it's hard at the same time. So I get it. Don't shoot me, I promise.
Why am I at the refrigerator for the 5th time?
Yeah. We've all done it, so I get it. But they get off at 3, and then they tell me that they only went to the gym twice that week. I'm like, twice? There's 7 days in a week, and you get off work at 3, and you only made it to the gym twice?
Bro, when I was working from home, I was desperate to leave my house to go to the gym. I couldn't be home. I was so depressed working from home.
Yeah. and people.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I could not work.
I couldn't do
from
it
home.
either. You know,
Yeah.
even now, sometimes when I work in the office right here, and I'm like, oh, I need to get out of here.
Yep.
Like I can't be here. I give myself an hour, 2 hour max, and then I'm done. But the point of that's when I want to go back into being a single mom, is because I want people to understand, because she looks the way she looks, because we look the way we look, it does not mean that we get to do whatever we want whenever we want. We have to schedule and prioritize our day, prioritize our meals, prioritize our cardio, and prioritizing our family all in 24 hours a day. We all have 24 freaking hours in a day.
Yeah.
Make it work.
But the sacrifices, I mean, you didn't have to get a second job, right? You chose to get that because you wanted to do this. So you knew, well, I'm going to get a hell of a lot less sleep, but fuck it, I'm going to go get a second job. And you made it work.
And not only that, but it was just the temptation, right, of like working at a club. Like I will get offered like drinks and shots all the time. People inviting me to after parties. People inviting me to go eat after. You know, like before when I will get there, like all my girls were like getting off from work too. So like they will bring their food, or right next door there was like a sushi place. So they were always like bringing sushi and eating and stuff. And I will just get, what do they call, like the seaweed, like the
Little seaweed wrap things.
No, like they're kind of like noodles, but they're like green. I can't remember what they call.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I will get, and I would just.
Is it zoodles? Zucchini noodles?
No, they were just like, I can't remember what it was, but it was just kind of like the only veggie stuff they had, and I would just eat that sometimes. But that was the only thing that I would allow myself to have, and it was tough. Like I was living out of energy drinks, and I think that's why I don't do energy drinks now at all, because to one point I was like doing like 800 milligrams a day.
Damn.
Wow.
And it was bad.
Of caffeine.
Caffeine, yeah. So it was
800
just
milligrams. Yeah, that's a
bad.
lot.
And it started affecting my sight. And that's why I stopped. So they were like, yeah, you're supposed to only do 400 a day. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, usually it's averaging 400 milligrams a day.
Shit. No wonder I'm like this.
I
I might work like type B. Like,
So what do you want to drink? Trying to carry it over, spilling it all over everyone.
energy drink number 5.
Oh my god!
The past 5 hours. Oh my gosh.
Man, that's. Wait, have you had? I've never seen
Yes.
anymore. The 5 hour energy. You know what I'm talking
Bro,
about?
I almost died one time at work. No, I'm serious. I literally have to leave.
What the
I
hell's
was-
in those things?
So I
I
had.
have no idea what's in it.
So I had
I don't see
had
them anymore though.
2 coffees, and then within like maybe an hour, I had the 5 hour energy.
Man,
And
no
that was
wonder
like,
you almost died.
and so
Bruh.
I started getting like really lightheaded, like because my heart rate was racing like crazy.
See
I
sounds
couldn't-
and hear colors.
No, I
and-
couldn't I couldn't feel my hands. They were going numb. I was like sweating. I was like getting lightheaded. And I actually didn't even go home because I was working at Discover Card at the time, and they actually had.
When did you work? I worked there.
I worked there for almost 8 years.
Did you really?
Yeah,
I was in collections back in like
Oh, I worked in-
2014, 2015.
I was there.
Yeah, I was just in collections. No, I worked there. It was.
But they had a nursing
yeah,
room or whatever.
yeah, they had
so
a doctor's
then,
office there
yeah.
by the cafeteria.
So then I just went to the doctor, and they gave me some stuff, and I actually took a nap there for like an hour.
How did you take a nap? Did you like shake as you? As
No,
you're
because I was like
taking-
almost passing out.
She rocked
I was-
herself to
Did
sleep.
you rocked yourself
Yeah.
to sleep?
I was passing out. I was passing out.
Holy shit, dude.
And while you're on prep,
And I was nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was another. I can't remember if I
Like
was in
before,
prep or
maybe.
not. But I remember around that time, that's when I was doing a lot of like energy drinks and shit.
it that brings up to another topic that I want to talk about before we talk about time frames. Energy drinks. Well, we had, like, I had a client. I have a bunch of clients. They come in, get their blood work done through Prime Labs. Shout out to Prime Labs, by the way. They come in and they have horrible kidneys and liver stress,
shows, yep.
so stressed. And then I ask, hey, man, so what you been drinking? They're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, besides water, what have you been drinking? How do you know that? Like, dude, blood work says everything.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell me you're not consuming this, or this. Which one is it? Yeah, I used to drink 2 monsters a day. You know, the big cans?
Yep.
2 monsters a day. I'm like, so you think that gives you energy? They're like, yeah. I'm like, no, it doesn't, dude.
I had
It's
employees
not.
at Netflix who their first meal of the day would be like 11 o'clock in the afternoon when I'd come to work, and it would be a bag of chips and an energy drink.
There's so many clients that are like using energy drink thinking that they get energy, but a lot of, like, for example, the 0 calories has no calories. So to me, energy is calories. You get calories in, calories out. But what people think when they get energy drink is going to give you energy. No, you're drinking a lot of caffeine that serves you, and sodium or whatever, and all the other junk that's in there, and you thinking you get energy, and that's why you consume 2 a day, because you don't have enough, and then you don't eat anything all day. That's crazy to me. Like what you said earlier, you said your client would have the
I'd have
first in the
agents
morning.
who'd come in, I'd be like 11. Some of them would come in at like 12:30 or 1, and they had nothing to eat all day, and they'd just eat chips and have energy drinks and Monsters. And so they'd always come up to me, and I'd always get my team snacks and all. I had bins and stuff. I'd always make sure there's water and Gatorade, and I would try to get, some of the better options, because this is when I started, training with you. And they'd be like, they'd call me Dad. They're like, Dad, can I just go get a Monster? I'm like, I don't want to drink a Gatorade. I'm like, dude, you've had fucking 4 of them today. You really need one more? And they'd just go get one more. And that's all they'd live on. And some of them said they wouldn't drink water because they didn't like the way it tastes.
Oh,
and that's why they
yes.
stuck with energy drinks.
I have a client like that before.
It's like, well, don't drink fucking toilet water.
He was so inflamed because he was using, those small little 6-8 ounces of just regular water bottle, and he would open one of those, the little lemonade flavor
Like
thing.
the Crystal Light packet things,
And he would use one of them in one little bottle.
And drink a gallon of Crystal Light a day?
Yeah, so then I couldn't figure out his check, and I was like, what is going on with your body weight, dude? Like, it fluctuates, you look inflamed. And then he finally told me, and again, accountability to myself, I got to make sure I ask the right question. The question was, what are you drinking? Or what are you putting in your food? Anything you're doing outside of whatever I tell you. Finally, I figured out. And the moment he took it off for one day, and he said, I just don't like how water tastes like. And I'm like, I never compute that. My brain doesn't understand that. So what are you saying? You never drink water your entire life? You're like, how do you not like water?
I can't talk shit because I'm the same way.
I mean, it's like, I'm talking about, like, I know, but sometimes some people do some
I
flavors.
struggle a lot with drinking water,
Really?
but I don't do Crystal Lights or anything. What I try to do, I do like amino acids.
Yeah. Okay.
And I do it once a day, and I try
yeah.
to like water down a lot. So I put like 3 water bottles with 1 scoop.
Right. So so the exceptions of, if you have creatine or amino acids, BCAAs, things like that's fine, right? But I'm talking like no benefit at all, just chemicals.
They literally
and
told me,
taste.
water's gross. I don't want to drink it. I'm just going to drink Monsters.
That's
I
crazy.
suck it up and I drink it still, but
Yeah.
It's like,
when I can have my, like right now, have my
Yeah.
amino acids, but I have it once a day. And
People
helps me.
tend to, like, the 5-hour energy was really popular. Was,
I've never
when
had those.
it was horrible, man. 5-hour energy was really popular.
Did you
I
get
remember.
that at Discover? Because they had so many little break rooms that you could go in,
Yeah,
like the
I
snack
did.
stations you could buy stuff. Yeah, they had all the chips and beef jerkies you could think of, and the cafeteria was huge. They
it was
had
so good too.
their food was actually
Like
really
big
really
back,
good.
I'm like, everything was good.
They had a really good cafeteria there, and they had a pretty nice gym there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, their gym was really really nice.
That is so hilarious because before I got my job at PC Laptops, the HR actually called me because they wanted to hire me to Discover.
Yeah.
So I had either Discover or PC Laptops. So I went with PC Laptops.
It wasn't a bad
instead.
place to work. I think I would have enjoyed it more if I wasn't in collections.
Collections is the worst.
Yeah, because I like every other Saturday I have to get to the office by 5, so you can start calling the East Coast, and you're waking people like, "Hey, it's Discover, you owe money," and everyone hangs up on you. They're screaming at you, making threats. Like, oh, I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this.
That's horrible.
But they made money. If you got high up, like up into the charge off section, where all the money's already been charged off, so if whatever Discover collects, it's 100% profit. Those people would be taking home like $5,000-$10,000 bonus checks every month if you can
That's
collect on it.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm done.
So the next topic is when we were talking about competing is the time frame. Let's talk about that really quick. Let's talk about the realistic time frame, because everybody wants to be a bodybuilder. Everybody wants to get on stage and just win their first show, win the overall, and not understanding the time frame on how long it takes to actually gain 3 to 5 pounds of muscle every single year.
Year, yeah.
Year is a key word. You can lose fat in weeks, but you cannot gain muscles in weeks. It takes you a year, up to 2, up to 3. I've been, I started lifting in 2016 actually, because I was getting married in 2017. I remember I was like the chubby O photo that you guys saw. Yeah, that was 2016. That was almost 10 years ago. And I started going because we were getting married. And I remember going from that transition, hiring my first coach, and then he immediately put me on stage the following October, the same year. And I had no muscle. I was shredded, but I had no muscle. My posing was horrible, and I didn't know any better. And essentially what he wanted to do was he just wanted me to put on stage, so he uses me as a marketing, right? Yeah. He wanted to say, hey, this is what I did with Yo-Yo from this to this, and I did this in less than a year, right? He was marketing me for that, and which I never do that anymore, ever. I'll never put anybody on stage right off the bat, and I know you don't do that as well, and I respect you for that, because we've learned that mistake.
No, I know and I understand that when you get a first-time competitor, they're not going to be 100%, but I want to always bring a first place package to the stage,
and that requires time.
It does. I feel like everybody is different, right? I think it's different depending on like where you're starting, like your starting point, because I have had clients that have never competed before, but they have been eating clean or whatnot, so they're starting at 19% body fat, right? They're already been working out, so they're already kind of have like some muscle built. And so some of these people are like athletes, back in their younger years, or grew up like doing sports and things like that. Just like you the other day when I was complimenting your calves. And then you mentioned that it was because of playing soccer, right? So some of these people, they already come with like certain things that are in their advantage, but there's some other people that have never done sports before. They have never done a diet before. They have never
had a coach. Never had a coach.
They've never like, they started with me at like a 30% body fat, and then so you have to start from like zero completely, so you have to recomp to see what there is in there. Once you see what's there, then you have to start working on building those things that they lack, which can take some time. And also, it has to do a lot with the athlete, right? I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like some athletes work harder than others.
Oh, 100%.
Because some
100%.
people want it so bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. I've had those clients where they're just like, I'll do anything you tell me, and they follow everything to the T, and then you see the results within like 3 months.
Less, or sometimes less.
But then I have had clients where they're doing the same thing over and over again, and it's been a year, and then you don't see results, and they plateau or whatever, and then you're like, well, I'm trying everything and nothing is changing. So I sit down with these people, and then I'm like, so what's going on? And I'm like, look into my eyes and be honest with me and actually tell me, like, are you following everything 100%?
Yeah.
And what I mean by and what do you mean 100%? Let's dive deeper.
Meaning, are you eating everything that is on your plan, measuring everything, and not eating anything extra, or not skipping meals?
Oh, while you meal prep. Oh wait, it's 6 ounces. Let me put that in my mouth. So it's like 5 ounces.
Yep.
Yeah. You do that. Yeah. Yep. I know.
Drinking all your water.
Yeah.
Taking all your supplements. Doing all your cardio.
No
missing sessions in the gym.
Yeah. But also doing cardio. There's a difference between you just working out and training. When you tell me you work out, are you just going to the gym and just like a check, checking boxes like, 4 sets of 12, 4 sets of 12. No, that's working out, which is fine because you burn calories.
Yeah.
But are you training?
Yep.
What I tell my clients is like, when you're walking into the gym, every single day. Even when you're not wanting to be there, you have to walk in with a mindset of like being intentional on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Not going through the motions of the workouts, but actually feeling every single thing, like your mind to muscle connection, actually working out until failure, like making sure that every week you're trying to increase your weight on that you're lifting, right?
Yep.
Like making sure that you're doing all these things, like being intentional.
Right.
Like not
Same
just
with cardio.
same with I specifically tell my clients, like, I want you to do this incline and this speed for this long. Don't hold into it. I need you to have your heart rate at this point. So I'm giving you a specifics on these things. So I'm expecting you to do this.
Yep.
Fasted, meaning no food. You
Yep.
know, so this is what I mean, like doing everything to the T. So like if some of these athletes are half-assing this stuff, they're not doing everything, then it's going to take longer for them to be able to see the results.
Yep.
So what could have taken you or this specific athlete maybe like 6 months, it took them a year and a half.
Yep.
You know, some people get complacent. They start seeing some results and they get happy. And then they stop trying as hard. For me, it's like when I start seeing results, when I'm in prep, I start working harder and harder and harder. You know
Because you see the results.
Because you want to have more results. You know what I mean?
But some people have the opposite tendency of
they're like,
oh, I'm good.
I see results. It's working. So then they just like, hey, I'm just going to have this extra rice cakes right here and extra peanut butter. And then...
Yeah, 100% is because when I started, because again, we don't know any better, right? So when I my first actual prep, I follow everything to a T. But when I start to look better and feel better, especially after I'm done with the show, then I got complacent. I got comfortable because the coach that I had at the time, he was not serious about my reverse dieting. Basically wanted me to kind of, essentially I was doing whatever I wanted. And so that's how I got comfortable. And that's how I gained more body fat, actually, more after that.
That's the most crucial
portion
of your prep.
So for the people that look at you and then they look at how conditioned I am when I'm on show prep, right? I mean, like I get Google Maps, like I'm peeled. And I always get compliments all the time, like, hey, yo, how do you do it? I'm like, dude, there's no secret. Like I go from 80% compliance in my off season to now 99.99% in my when I'm prepping. When I say 99, it's never 100%. It's because like I too sometimes will get like extra cashew or like extra scoop of rice or extra protein or extra veggies or whatever to kind of keep myself full. So that's why I'm never say I'm 100%. But some athletes, they do it 100%, and that to me, I admire them. I really do. You know, some athletes, they don't take it serious in the off season, and then they go really ham and on the on season, and then they look the same, and they do shows after shows after shows. You know those people that do shows after shows, then they look the same. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that I will get to a point that I will be like that. You know, like I will be just kind of like, oh, I still have time. You know, and then my coach will tell me, Daniela, switch the switch.
Flip the switch. I love that. Yes. You got to flip it.
As soon as he will tell me that,
it's game on.
I will be like 110%, and boom, you can see my changes within like 2 weeks.
Isn't that funny?
Yep.
And then he knew when I will switch it, you know.
Yeah.
So I need you to switch now. Yeah. Like you're running out of time. And I'm like,
but we know that term.
Yeah.
Because we know when we try and we're good at it, we know when we try hard, and you know you don't leave nothing on the table, not even an ounce of anything on the table, right? Not even a gram.
You remember last year? Remember how many times you asked me when I was in like peak week before I was going to Mexico? Yeah. That I was like literally dying, like doing my workout.
She walked in, she was like, "You're trying to do like cable kickbacks or something," and like you couldn't even just bend down to hook the thing onto the cable. I was like, "Tica,
are you good?"
I'm like, "Are you okay?" And you sat there, you're like, "I don't know." I'm like, "What do you like? What do you need? Do you need to go get something?" I'm like, "I thought you were gonna pass out." I asked him, like, "Do you want like a Built Bar?" You're like, "No, I can't have that." I'm like, "Well, you're gonna fucking die."
Yeah,
like, what do you need?
Die.
But you were 100% on point, and that's the biggest thing we preach to our clients. I mean, we understand if shit happens, there might be a day where like I slipped up a little bit, but if it's a continuous pattern, that's where it becomes an issue. But we tell them you're our walking business card. You represent how we coach, our knowledge, our ability as a coach, and to help people. So if you're fucking around, not doing the job, and they're telling people, oh, Tica's my coach, I'm with her for a year and a half. They're like, well, I'm not going to go to Tica because you look the same.
Yeah.
And now they're affecting our pocket.
I know 100%. And that's why when I have a client that is just doing the same thing over and over again, and then there's no changes, and then indirectly they start blaming you, at the end of the day, I know that my shit works.
Yep.
Because I've seen it in other people.
Yep.
And
you've done it yourself.
I've done it myself. And so I'm like,
time to just
cool.
cut them off.
You want to go?
Yeah.
Cool.
Back to the time frame, right? So are you following the plan? Are you following the workout? Are you intentional with your workouts and cardio? And are you intentional, and this is something that a lot of people don't talk about, are you intentional with your recovery, with your sleep?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Right? Are you intentional? Like, not like, oh, I'm going to get to bed when I get to bed. No. I'm going to cuss. No, motherfucker. You can't just go and like, I'll sleep when I can.
Yep.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Get off your phone, put it down, turn the TV off. Read a fucking book. Do literally anything but be on technology.
Yeah,
for like 30 minutes before you go to bed.
I'm gonna put Nick on. I'm gonna put Nick on the spot. Yeah. So he didn't go to bed till 2 a.m. last night.
2:30.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a reason behind that. But and at the end of the day, we don't do that every day.
Nope.
Because we know. And how did you feel today when you walk in?
I got more coffee right here.
Yeah.
All right. And I already had a cup this morning. But I mean, we were talking about it before. I need to be better with my sleep. The last like 2 or 3 weeks, I haven't been going to bed anywhere between like 12:30 and 3:30. Yeah. But for me, I know it's temporary, and it's because there's a lot of things I'm working on, a lot of things I'm studying right now. And the only time that I can fit it in the day is when my wife and daughter go to bed. Yep. So they're in bed, I'm awake, I'm like, okay. I tell myself just an hour, but then I get so consumed with it, I'm like, fuck, it's 3:30, I got to be up at 7. Mm-hmm. And I did it to myself.
And Tica, this morning, you woke up at what time?
So I was doing a bunch of stuff yesterday, the whole day, but then I had people coming over today for makeup for the bodybuilding show this weekend. And so when I got home last night, I started cleaning and organizing everything for today. So I didn't go to bed until like 1 in the morning.
And then what time did you wake up this morning?
4:50.
Because you had makeup to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
I
again,
slept through 3 alarms.
and again, this is and the reason why I'm pointing these guys out, because we are not perfect as well. No. Okay. Yeah. So we want you guys to know that we don't just eat chicken and rice every single day. Okay. I did a post on my story yesterday to show people that I actually do eat sweets. I actually do eat something dirty.
I was trying to look for your story and I never saw anything.
I just posted today. Sorry. Okay. Because I went to bed.
I was like,
yeah, no, I know. I went to bed last night.
I'm like, what did he eat? What did he eat?
Everybody does that. Everybody's like, what? Are you going to leave us hanging, bro? I'm like, sorry, I just went to bed. I forgot about it.
He pulled the cheesecake out of the fridge to show me.
Yeah, it's great.
Dude, look how good.
Listen, okay. The reason why I wanted to post that on my story yesterday, because they know when it's our cheat meal, usually we go to something a little bit more friendly, right? Like sushi, rice bowl places like Mobetta, Zao, things like that. And because we know our body, I do not do well with dairy. I don't do well with high saturated fats. I can't. I will, excuse my language, I will shit my ass off, right? So last night, I'm like, you know what? My family wanted to take me out. It's my birthday week. Yep. We haven't really done a celebration, so we went and did backwards. So usually we do a dinner and then the sweets, right? We did it backwards. So we did the sweets first. Dude, I did like 3 bites, and I'm like, I'm done. And then
sweets though.
Huh? I know. I don't like sweets, so it's not my thing. And then we went to Beto's, and I got a carne asada fries with California burrito. Bro.
California burrito is my favorite. I'm
telling you, I was literally, while I was eating California burrito, I was chipping away at my carne asada fries, and I almost finished.
You should have put the fries in the burrito.
I should have. I should have done that. And then, but I wanted to show people that we too eat those types of food, but it's very, very minimal. Very, very, once in a blue moon, I'll do sushi. Once in a blue moon, I'll do burgers and fries. Once in a blue moon, I'll do carne asada fries. And it's not every week. And most of the time, every week, my cheat meals are like Mobetta. Yeah. Katsu chicken, pulehu chicken,
I love eating sushi and steak for my cheat meals.
You love it, yeah. because it works for you.
Do you find that when you eat outside of your plan like that intentionally, if you're around friends and family, like, oh my God, you're eating normal?
Yeah.
And they make comments.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, my wife had a work event. It was a ballroom night, and they catered, and it was like chicken enchiladas and Spanish rice. And so I ate it. And even her bosses are like, wait, you can eat this? I'm like, I'm not a fucking robot. Yeah, it's enchiladas, dude. It's fine.
My favorite one,
I
my favorite one is like, oh my gosh, yo, you're eating normal.
Yeah.
I love that for you. And I'm like, I literally plan a cheat meal for this exact moment.
Since when has a Whopper been a normal food?
Yeah, this exact moment, because they don't see what we did before.
Yep.
They don't see what we did, what we're doing after. They just see, oh my gosh, Tica, you're eating normal today? Wow, I'm so proud of you. The
I feel
hell?
like my family and my friends, they're so used to me not eating. I think the only person that gets excited like that is my mom. And it's mainly when I go to Costa Rica.
Yeah, of course.
You know, because I never get to eat my
Home
Costa
food.
Rican
Yeah,
food,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So
when she cooks.
So when I was there, my mom will be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited you're coming so you can have like all the food and stuff. And I'm like, Mom, no. Like, no, I'm not. I'm taking my stuff and I'm going to buy food there. And that was the first thing I did, you know, when I went there. I bought like oatmeal, like chicken and everything. And I prepped my food. And then my mom was like, so you're not going to eat anything? And I was like, no, I'm going to go in. First thing I will have is my favorite dessert from this specific bakery that I love. It's called torta chilena. It has dulce de leche and it's like guava.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds delicious.
I'll show you a picture, bro. It's
I love guava.
but that was the
so
only
good.
sweet that I was craving that I wanted so bad over there. And every time I go, the owner is my cousin's grandpa, and so I will text my cousin. I'm like, tell your grandpa to make some fresh torta chilena so I can come and get some. So he will make some fresh torta chilenas for me. And I will get like one or two, and I will just eat it. And that was just like my whole trip. Like that was like, this is the only reason I'm here. But that was like the only thing. For the most part, I was eating like rice and chicken and salads.
Yeah. But it's just, we wanted to point that out because I think for me, sometimes I fail to post stuff that I don't normally eat.
Yeah.
I need to start doing that more often because literally people think we're robots, bro. People think we just eat the same thing every single day, which is not true, by the way. And so let's talk about how many businesses do you have? You have coaching?
Yes. So the one that is, like my main one is just coaching. So lifestyle prep. I'm also a posing coach.
Posing coach.
For anyone.
Okay, that's the second
for
business.
Fit model and bikini and
wellness as well. Or no.
No.
Yeah.
I need to learn.
Yeah. I mean, I figured it's not going to be that difficult for you to learn though.
Yeah,
because they have both. They have to pose left and right glute. Yeah, which is pretty interesting that you have to showcase both sides, which is awesome.
The thing is, like, I know the posing.
Yeah.
Because I had a wellness client, and so I specifically learned for her.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not the best. At it.
Not yet. And then you
I
have
like to teach people when I know that I'm really good at it, because if I'm like half-assing something and then teaching someone that doesn't know really well, like to do a half-ass job, it's not good. I want people to succeed, but for now, so just bikini and fit model. Then I have my makeup, and then I have my brownies. The brownies I mainly do for shows or for like holidays and things like that, but that's pretty much it.
So and on top of being single mom, your kids is like what? Your kid is almost.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really count as a single mom anymore because he's 18.
He's 18, yeah. So he's grown. That's crazy. Because I remember I met him when he was like what? I met him probably like 6-7 years ago. I think. Yeah, and he was a lot younger.
Around 10.
This is the favorite question that I like to ask, and on top of the advice, and this is something we're going to bring on to our next couple episodes is. The mistakes. Let's talk about the mistakes that you've made, right? And then before we go into the advices that you have for all the people that you've gone through similar stories and situations, what are the top 1 to 5 mistakes that you've made in the past as a newbie? It doesn't have to be a competitor. As a newbie, what would you do if you can go back? What would you change? What would you do differently?
I think. Educating myself about sport, not knowing
about bodybuilding sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No understanding what it was. I think that the being ignorant on the sport, it kind of like impacted me, you know, for when I was not placing well, like I will get upset.
Yeah.
But I wasn't understanding why, you know, even though I was getting better. I think that will be one of the first ones.
So educating on the sports.
On the
Yeah.
sport, educating myself about the prep and nutrition part of it. I remember when I started, I just thought that peanut butter is healthy, so it's just peanut butter. So I remember I was doing like almost like a tablespoon of peanut butter on every meal.
It wasn't just me, yo.
And so, but this is when I barely started. I had no
Yeah,
education whatsoever or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was craving sweets because I've always been like a big sweet tooth person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, it's just peanut butter is healthy, you know? So I was doing like 1 tablespoon, sometimes like 2 tablespoons per meal. So I was like, probably
a
like
lot of
over
fat.
150 grams of fat a day.
That's a lot of fat, bro.
Bro,
Damn.
crazy. And so I was like, why am I not getting conditioned enough, you know? And so then I realized it was because of that. So I was like, I remember it was Cherie that told me, she's like, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. And I was like,
I'm glad.
but it's only like 1
Like, but it's healthy.
tablespoon per meal.
I'm glad someone said something. That's for sure.
But obviously, after I completely stopped doing that, my transformation in the whole 2 weeks was crazy. Because I went from like
150 grams of fat to 50?
to like 26.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Crazy. But that was one of the things. I think another one will be just prioritizing recovery. And I
The
feel like
recovery,
that is something that like that we were talking just now,
Yeah.
like no sleeping or whatnot. Like I remember I will be proud of that. I will be like, team no sleep.
Yep.
You know, we're working hard, barely sleeping,
Just
we're
grinding, man.
grinding and
Yeah.
blah blah blah, you know. But then now I'm like, fuck no. I'm like, after
Nope.
seeing I'm not sleeping at least 7 hours, I'm like, I'm not gonna
Nope.
function. I need my rest. I need to sleep. And understanding that like stretching before your workouts
Yeah.
is gonna be really beneficial for you. And people hate it. And I literally tell my athletes, like, I need you to do this. Trust me, you're gonna thank me later.
Yep.
Because right now, like I have so many issues, and it's because the first 3 years in bodybuilding, I never really stretched or did any body work or
Yeah, no massages,
seen
nothing.
no
Yeah.
chiropractor, no nothing. I couldn't
Yeah.
afford it, and so I was just like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, if you want to do this sport, you need to go all in.
Yeah.
That means that you need to get body work at least once a month. You need to go see a chiropractor to get adjusted, mainly if you're posing every day. And making sure you're doing all the things that you're supposed to recover and having the amount of hours of sleep, because that does impact your body significantly. Like,
That was the one
Crazy.
mistake that I've made. If I could go back in time, I was training 6, sometimes 7 days a week. And looking back at not only that I'm doing 6 days a week, I'm doing like 6 movement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would be in the gym for 2 fucking hours, bro. And looking back at it now, I've gained little to no tissue. I've grown more today at doing 4 days a week
Mm-hmm.
than I did when I did 6 days a week.
Yep. And like half
And-
the movements.
And we would do 3 movement. 4th one is usually a small accessory movement, but 3 hard movements. Sometimes I go to the gym, like I did this weeks ago. I did chest and I did flat dumbbell press and I did 10 fucking sets to failure, and that's the only thing I did. And I was sore the next day.
but you know the difference now is like you have been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And then back then, even though you were doing 6 times a day, it's more likely that you were not being as intentional as you are now.
Yep.
No, not intentional.
So
I was
that
doing,
also makes a huge difference.
Well, I feel like people mistake
No.
inflammation for growth. They're like, well, I feel bigger. I think I look bigger. It's
No,
because
you're
you're
just
just
inflamed,
inflamed.
You're just inflamed,
Yeah, you're a
bro.
fucking balloon.
Yeah, or
That's
or
it, that's it.
This is the big one too. I have clients that done legs,
Mm-hmm.
right? Male, female have done legs,
It's just inflamed.
Yeah. Yeah. Way to shoot them down, bro. They've done legs and they weigh in a lot higher the next 2 days. They went up 1 to 2 pounds water inflammation from them doing legs, and that's normal. So just so you guys know, when you first go back to the gym, you haven't gym in a while, your body weight's gonna go up. It's not because you gain muscle. I'm telling you that right now, you don't.
You know how nice it'd be to go to the gym and immediately gain 2 pounds of muscle.
Oh my
overnight.
God. But it's a lot of it. It's water inflammation, muscles inflammation is throughout your body. So that's the one mistake that I've made in the past that I wish I would have known differently. What about you, Nick?
I think it's being impatient.
Yeah.
And wanting the results a lot faster. Because I started going to the gym when I was like 12 with my dad. But obviously that young, you're at a disadvantage neurologically. You can't grow muscle. And I'm just being like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, I just want to get big. I want this. I want that. But I was just too impatient with it. So understanding it's going to take time. Just keep doing it. And then it's, I think, also following the plan. And what I mean is, whether you want to gain weight or lose weight, people go on the internet and type in, how do I gain weight? How do I lose weight? Right? And they're trying to figure it out. And they come to us like, it's so confusing. It's like, okay, well, then here's a plan. This is going to help you with your goal. And then they don't follow it. It's like, so you can't bitch and complain about it being confusing, and then we give you literally the blueprint to do it, and then you don't do it, and you're confused why you're not getting results.
I just want to get to that really quick. I just find it so irritating when someone hires you because they want your guidance.
Yep.
They want you to help them reach a goal. But then when you're creating their meal plan and creating their workouts and this and that, they start complaining about it. Or they tell you like, well, I want to have this and this and this added to my plan. I already added this, so make sure you add this. And it's like, obviously, all the stuff you're eating is not working. So
if that's the case, then why don't you just
So
make
why
your own
don't-
meal plan? Like,
You're coaching yourself?
So why are you even hiring me?
you have to have 5 ounces of salami a day.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I've had that client
I'm
before.
just like,
It's not how this works. Not how
so
it works.
this is the thing is like, if you really hire someone, give them the opportunity to help you out.
Yeah, 100%.
Follow the stuff that you're supposed to follow to be able to see the results. One thing that I always say is this. You're going to get as much as you put in. So if you're giving your prep 80%, then you're going to get 80% back results. But if you're giving 100%, you're going to get 100% results.
100%.
So then don't half-ass it.
Yeah.
Go all in and do it 100%.
Yep.
Even for livestock clients, like they stay like really good through like Monday to Friday, and then the weekend they fucked up.
Yep.
And so it's like, no, like if you're allowed to have one free meal on the weekend, just do one free meal.
Yeah. A meal, not a day.
No, a day. Exactly.
Not a cheat day, it's a cheat meal.
Yep.
Not a cheat weekend.
Yeah.
And it's the same with coaching too.
Yeah.
If you show up 60% of the time, we can only coach you 60% of the time. We cannot want it more than you can. You have to want it more 100% of the time. I've had clients, they went from 60%, jump to 80, jump to 100, and then I mentioned, I'm like, hey, all right, let me give you a little bit more. Let me show up for you a little bit more, because now you show up for yourself.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of mistakes in the past where I show up for my clients all the time and then they're giving it half-ass. I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yep.
Last question. What is your advice for the people, for the moms out there that are listening to this, for the clients that you have currently? What is your advice for the people that are just getting started, maybe going through similar journey that you had as a single mom, working 2 jobs? Cherie has a pretty crazy story too, by the way.
Hers is wild.
So I admire both of you.
Yep.
And what is your advice for those people that are maybe struggling or think that they can't do it? Because clearly you did.
There has been different things that I've heard that has stuck with me. While you're not changing, you're choosing.
Ooh, repeat that one more time.
While you're not changing, you're choosing.
Damn.
So another thing that I always say is, if there's something that you don't like about yourself, like, change it. Do something about it.
Because you're not a tree.
You know what
You
I
can
mean?
move. You can change.
I tell my younger sister all the time, because she's like, how can I lose weight and lose all this, but I still want to eat all the stuff that I eat? And I'm like, nothing. I'm like, if you're And I tell her like straight up, and I'm like, if you're really happy the way that you are, eating all the bullshit that you eat, if you're happy with everything, the way that you look, how you feel, everything, then continue doing what you're doing. Just
Awesome.
continue to be happy,
Or just don't complain about it.
you know? But if you really don't like it
Yep.
and you're complaining about it all the time, then do something about it. Again, we're going back to the first thing I said, because what you're not changing, you're choosing. Right? And then the last thing I want to say is it's never too late to start. It's never too late. Like some people, it's like, well, I'm already like this old and blah blah blah, or I just have so like stop making excuses. If you want it bad enough, you will figure it out.
You will do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Yep.
Whatever.
If the why is strong enough.
Oh,
A lot of people
Yes.
just don't have that reason why.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's one of the things that I always ask. Like if you don't have a strong why,
You will fail.
you are not going to be able to get through this, because whenever you're going to be like struggling and asking yourself like, why in the fuck am I doing this,
We do it all the time.
then that's when you remember
Yeah.
your why. And if your why is strong enough, you're going to suck it up and do it.
Yep.
Wow. That was beautiful, beautiful quotes from a really good friend, Tica. And I love the fact that you come on the podcast. And I wanted to kind of have her share her story, because I've known her for a long time. And every time I talk to her, there's always something new to know about Tica. And the reason why this is very important to a lot of us, because we post what we want you guys to see on social media, right? We post the good things. We never really post the bad stuff. And that's the reality of it, right? The social media can be really good, but it can also be really bad. So the fact that you're on the podcast and you share your thoughts and processes, your story, the hard times that you went through, and you still persevere today, and you're doing it today. You know how many people admire you? Every time I repost something about you or whatever, you get a lot of comments, you get a lot of compliments all the time. And it's amazing to see you make a huge impact to a lot of, empowering a lot of women out there, which is,
That makes me happy.
which
That's
is,
the goal.
yeah, that's the goal. And that's our goal too, as a dad. We're a dad now, right? So you know how many people talk shit on us? I'm like, oh, wait till you have kids, bro. You're not going to do that anymore. You're not going to look the same anymore. Crickets. Exactly.
My daughter's my reason why.
Exactly.
I need to keep doing
We
this.
have all three of us, and the people that are watching this, if you guys are going through the same thing, we all have that why, and we know. And I'll never go back to the fat yo ever again.
And honestly, I feel like whenever your kids are your whys, you're unstoppable.
It makes things so much easier.
That is the episode number 38. You guys, thank you for sharing our reels, our podcasts, our Spotify. You guys have been amazing to continue to show support and love. And thank you for Tica for coming on our podcast. Thank you so much. And next time, I'm definitely gonna have her come in next time. I'm gonna do something really fun next time. I'm not gonna share it yet, but all right, you guys, on to the next episode. We'll see you next time.
Gonna get you too high as fuck.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna interview you.
Next, I'm gonna do it like.